Hey, on this episode of Mark Menendez Bass TV, it's gonna be different. I sold my boat, so I don't have a boat to fish in. Gonna have to walk the bank in a pond. Let's see how it goes. I've got some baits picked out. Gonna catch some fish here on Mark Menendez Bass TV.
We're going to the lake, but not by boat. This week, Mark is going to walk the bank and do some bassing. He's got a handful of rods and reels and a pocket full of baits. In fact, it's a great time to test a new one from Strike King, looking for the biggest bite in the pond.
Starting with a new bait. This is the final copy swim bait, just new for $25 from Strike King. A swim bait is a great bait in a pond because you can cover a lot of water. It's got a lot of weight to it. I can chunk it a long way. So in those zones where you don't see a lot of cover, that you're not targeting cover, you can make those casts in a pie shape out here and cover that water, and those fish that are out there in the middle, you've got a chance to catch them. So a swim bait, you know, they don't see things like this in most ponds. So the bigger the bait, hopefully the bigger the fish. You know, it's a pretty cool bait. That swim bait catches that bigger fish. So we're mimicking small bass, we're mimicking shad, we're mimicking big bluegill, whatever. But the bait itself has a magnet right here in the center. See that little silver spot right there? That's a magnet that holds the rigging in place when I make a cast. So this is in hooking percentages right there always. But that little magnet keeps it in place. You've got your whole swivel and split rings to hold it in place. Then you've got lead up here that weights the bait. So it looks just like a fish, and it catches bigger than average fish. Little guys will bite it too. You know, largemouth bass are very aggressive, and they can eat something that's 1/3 the size of their body. So a 1.5 2 pounder can eat this just as easy as one of those good ones can. Swim bait's pretty easy. Throw it, wind it back. All you've got to figure out is how fast you want to retrieve it. I got one. Look at that good one on a swim bait. Oh boy. That will wake you up in the morning. Golly. I'm gonna get muddy to get this one in here. Golly. Right in the top of the nose. Come here, big dog. Come here. Come on, come see me. That is a slab of a bass. Look at that. There's a darn 5-pounder. That's why that swim bait's so important. It catches that bigger than average fish. Right, I want you to see how this fish is hooked too. I mean, drilled right in the top of the nose. Top of the head right there. Oh, that's a super sharp hook. Well, final copy. Got that one. That is a dandy. I mean, a good one. All right, Junior, get back in there. Get out of here, girl. Go. Go, 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 go. I have to give her a little help with my rod. Go that way, go that way. There we go. There we go. Doggone good one. How about that? I like that. I could use a little more of that action. I'm gonna be muddy as a pig. My wife's gonna be upset with me, but it'll wash off.
Mark is taking a swim bait first approach. The big profile gives these pond bass a big-sized meal. The final copy did produce a big bass, but so far he's only had a handful of bite. But he keeps a Strike King Rage Craw handy to follow up just in case they miss.
Hey, I'm gonna get my Rage Craw ready. Texas rig it here like I always do. I've got a 1/4 ounce sinker, 5/0 hook, and just a regular old black neon Rage Craw that you've seen me use many times. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a backup. Winding that big swim bait, a lot of times those fish will come up there and punch it. just try to hurt it and kill it, and not try to eat it on the initial. So I'm going to have a backup rod ready for that. Oh golly, one just smoked it. One just smoked it. Here we go. Time to be ready. Right about there. May not have gotten far enough out there. That's better. That's a little further out there. It's always good to have that backup, have that 1-2 combo. That fish just, oh, did he get it? Oh yeah, there we go. Golly, missed him. Must not have been a good one. He was carting the mail with it. Throw that back out there again, see if I can get him to bite it. He was carting the mail. He was gone. The only thing different that I'm doing is I'm standing on the bank. I'm not in my boat. My boat, I want to be out there, and I always focus on the wind. The wind is your friend, so I'm standing on the absolute windiest bank on this pond. The wind's blowing right in here on me. Wind makes fish more active, so I'm trying to take advantage of that, even in pond fishing. Even if it's just a minute ripple, the rest of the pond is perfectly flat and still. Go fish that area with that little bit of ripple. It puts the odds in your favor. You can throw this thing a long darn way. We'll cover this little section of water, and we'll keep on moving. There was my bite. There was a bite. Another one of those fish bit it. There he is. There was the one that bit my little deal. There's a backup. There's a backup. Nice little keeper bass. He ran out there and bit that with his nose. He wanted to eat that swim bait, but he wasn't hardly big enough. But I got him with the rage craw. 1-2 punch. Always have something extra so that you can make those casts so you have a backup. Felt like a bluegill when he bit it and just took off running. All right, Junior, get you out here. All right, get back in there. There he goes. Cool. Move on down the bank. Now I got a different deal I've got to work with now. I got some cover over my shoulder. You can see those trees. So instead of attacking it like I would in a boat, I'm gonna do a little different. I'm gonna fish all the way around the outside edges of the trees before I penetrate it. And I'm gonna use a very weedless bait. I'm gonna use my rage craw. If I get a bite on the outside of it, it probably won't spook what might be on the inside of it. It's kind of like being in a boat, but we're gonna see what we can do on the outside edges here. Whew, I'm about to go in. There we go. Then we'll actually get up there close and tight and pitch around some too. Oop, there it goes. Golly. It's a heck of a lot harder to set the hook off the bank. I'm used to being in a boat where I can get prepared and I can't hardly get a good swing on one. That one was right in the tip of that tree. He bit it and went screaming out of there. He was right there. It's a pretty typical bite in super shallow water. They bite it and they get out of there. They head to deep water with it. So the next one that bites it, I'm gonna tighten that line up a little better. Oh, right there. Got him. Got him, got him, got him. That may be the one that just bit my cricket there on the last go around. That's a nice bass. Good pond bass. Got the old rage craw. That thing just catches them in a lake, in a river, in a pond, creek. That's a fatty. That's a fatty. Very good. Got him. Now, here's the one thing. A rage craw, it got split right there. So instead of taking it and throwing it in the lake, take it and put it in your pocket and throw it away later. We don't want to leave this stuff out here on the landowner's land. They're nice enough to let us go fishing. I reach in my pocket. We're gonna change colors because I just reached in there and grabbed a different color. No real reason. But the Texas rig it, come in the top, about 1/4 of an inch, come out, slide the bait over the eye of the hook, pull the hook in the bait, turn the hook back towards the bait, and reinsert. Now you're going to be totally weedless and you'll be able to get him out of the tree.
Pond fishing is something anyone can do. No need for high-dollar bass boats or equipment. Just go out there and have some fun. Mark is getting back to his roots fishing off the bank. It's a little different than fishing out of his Skeeter, but he's certainly having some fun.
Oh, I wish you could have seen it. He was about that long and he jumped going the other way. Oh, that was great. That little dude jumped straight up. When I hit him, he killed my rage craw. Put it in your throwaway pocket all the way down there so you don't lose it out here. And that's the other thing. We're on private property here. Most farm ponds and small lakes are on private property. Always talk to the owner, tell them that you're going to be on the property. When you leave, tell them that you've left the property and thank them. And make sure if there's any gates that you've come through that need to be opened or closed, leave the property just like you found it. Don't leave any trash on the side of the pond bank or anything. Pick it up if you find some. And always say thank you. It'll get you another trip back to the lake. Seems like any little extra piece of wood that's out there beyond the main piece of wood, there's a fish laying next to because the water's come down so much. Back in the day, Ballard County, Western Kentucky was the goose mecca of the world, so I've got lots of fond memories goose hunting back in high school and early college and even in middle school some. I love to see that. It brings back some great memories of fishing and hunting in Western Kentucky. Hit one little piece of wood right there and boom, there it went. Got that one out of there. That's what 20-pound line will do for you. That's just like in the boat. Just pitch it in there in the middle of the cover and get him. That was funny. That one, bait just went down, it just kept going. He wasn't coming off. He was not coming off, that's for sure. Another keeper bass. Don't break my neck getting back here, getting him back in the lake. There we go. Now that one had me in the cover, so 20-pound Seaguar is tough stuff. That's why I use it. Nice, nice. There we go, here we go. Came over a little piece of wood right there. They just started swimming. Get up here, Junior. Well, look at this fatty. This dude's a chub. Look at that. That is a fat little old bass. My goodness. That is a tank of a little bass. Fat boy. He's trying to get my craw. Get out here. I came over one little last stick right there and off it went swimming. That was cool.
As the day has progressed, Marcus continued to walk the bank. Bass are relating to cover, so the swim bait hasn't been much use. These bass seem to really like the Strike King Rage Craw, which comes through the wood and brush easily.
Instant. There's a couple more fish over there. They just ran out there and pushed that big swim bait. Another nice bass. Look at that one. That was fatty too. Just ran out there and just said boink with that swim bait, but he got that. He wasn't intimidated by that. These are healthy, fat little old fish getting ready for winter. All right, Junior, I'm gonna catch your brother on this cast. Had another one bite it right there. Ah, that felt right. That one felt right. See, I've kind of got a little corral here. Got an amphitheater. It makes a turn. So those fish are kind of in the basin of that little turn right there. I had two other bites on that swim bait in that corner. They just pushed it. Now I'm going to pick up the Rage Craw and fish slow right there. See if we can't get another bite. And let's drag it through this corner, see if we can't get another bite. It kind of tipped me off that there's a couple of fish right here with that swim bait. Maybe we'll get lucky and catch one of them. There's a few little rocks right out in there. Had a bite. I can't even see, I'm in the glare so bad. There he is, there he is, there he is. Way out there. A nice bass. Where are you going, fella? Good little old fish right there. Up here, Mr. Rage Craw. Another good little fish right there. How about that? He was at the very end of a cast. It was an Olympic cast. And that happens a lot when you're pond fishing. That's why I'm using a little longer rod than normal. I've got a flipping stick here. OKVD flipping stick. And I can make that cast and I can get that hook set on that distance. That one was at the very end of a cast, which I don't understand why that always happens, whether you're on the bank or in a boat or whatever. That one was at the end of a long cast. Let's put it right back out there. I knew there was another fish or two out here. Just swimming that swim bait through there and you'd feel them just drill it, but wouldn't get it. Just had to get something a little more their size. Ooh, there he is. Well, that one fooled me. Boy, he hit it and took off. I tell you what, it's been fun today. Fighting the bushes and fighting the fish and fighting this terrible wind. But getting in a pond and getting on the bank and just catching a few nice bass. Not a better way to spend the morning. Catch us next week on Mark Menendez Bass TV. We'll catch a few more of these. Thanks for coming. There he goes.
Mark Menendez Bass TV is brought to you by Skeeter Boats, Precision Sonar, Lose, feel the difference, Strike King Lure Company, Power Pole, closed captioning provided by Dying to Fish,